Hi guys, my name is Charity and today I'm going to be explaining to you what a service learning project is and how to create your own. So, let's get started. So, what exactly is a service learning project and why do I have to do one? A service learning project is a video tutorial that gives helpful information on palpations, equipment use, skill checks, and other useful resources that are available to the students. It is also a required outcome in the Kinesiology 2 syllabus for a PTA program here at LSC. So your instructor will give you a topic and you'll have to create a video on it. It's just a really nice way for you to help your fellow classmates and future PTA students learn different concepts. So now that we understand the why of a service learning project, I'm going to walk you through the process of creating your own service learning project and give you a couple tips of how to make your video as good as possible. The first tip I would give you is to get an idea of how you want to create your video and then give yourself plenty of time to get it done. You can ask for help from your resource person, which is usually your instructor, if you have any questions or just aren't sure what to put in your video. You'll want to ask help from your classmates, so make sure that you set up a time that works for both you and them. And if you look online, you'll be able to find the grading rubric for the project, but we'll go into more detail in that in the next few slides. Okay, so the grading rubric involves 10 different categories, and they are video clip length, audio, narration, video, content of video, professional appearance of video, titles and captioning, editing, educational value of video, and the write-up. So the first thing on the rubric is the time limit, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You don't want your video any less than 5 minutes, but you won't want it longer than 10. The next thing is audio, and you'll want to make sure that your classmates can hear what you're saying clearly. So try and film in a quiet area that doesn't have a lot of people talking or a lot of background noise. So for the narration, you can use either a voiceover or you can narrate during the filming. Just make sure that you are using professional language and correct terminology while you're narrating. An example would be if you want to talk about the olecranon process, you would use that word if you had the topic of elbow palpations versus talking about the funny bone. Also, just double check and make sure your narration is accurate. Video is the next criteria on the rubric. You'll need a clear video when completing this project, so that means you don't want any clips that are blurry or shaky. So you could use a tripod, and that can help eliminate any shakiness that comes from handheld videotaping. Another big thing to do is make sure that you're shooting your video in landscape format as opposed to portrait, because if you don't do this, you will get points marked off. So just make sure you do that. As far as content of the video goes, you could ask your classmate to look over what you have and give you any feedback if you're unsure about any missing concepts. Depending on your topic, you'll want to include all the steps if you're doing skill check or equipment tutorials, and if you're doing palpations, just be sure to include all the landmarks. If you have a different topic, just make sure to cover your bases. You'll want to make sure that the overall appearance of your video is professional. So that means that you'll want to be wearing professional clothing and using good body mechanics throughout the video. You'll also want to double check your spelling throughout and make sure that it's all correct. And that brings us to titles and captionings. Just be sure that you include all three, the titles, the captions, and the credits where they belong. If you're doing skill checks, you can add steps, and same thing for equipment use. If you're doing palpations, just put the names of the landmarks that you're talking about up on the screen. And anytime you think that wording would help students understand something better, just add it to the video. As far as editing goes, just make sure that you're including the entire sentence if someone is talking. Don't cut them off halfway. And if there's any excess time at the end of the clip, cut that off. So the educational value of the video is pretty self-explanatory. You'll just want to remember that this is for other students to learn, so just try and make it as educational as you can, but also have fun while you're doing it. After you finish your video, you'll be required to write a short summary about it and your experience filming. In the write-up, you'll want to include a project description of how, when, and where you completed the project. Include a list of the people that helped you, and you can also talk about any lessons or obstacles that you had to overcome. If you have any comments or thoughts, you can include those in your write-up as well. So some resources for creating your video would be an iPad, and if you don't have an iPad, you could ask Jane, because the clinic does have an iPad that you can borrow for filming. If you have a camcorder or phone, which most people have phones nowadays, you can record your filming on there. And for as far as apps go, you can use Movie Maker or iMovie. I'm using iLos right now, so that is also an option. So some examples of service learning projects, you can look on their blog site to see full examples of their tutorials. In the following few slides, I'm going to just give you small clips. So we'll go to that.
We are going to be palpating for the piriformis. This actually has its origin on the anterior side, but can be palpated as it runs through the sciatic notch. Have your patient rotate their leg internally and externally, and you should be able to dig deep, feeling this muscle as it runs over to the greater trochanter.
So that's an example of a palpation tutorial if you have palpation as one of your topics. This one is a resource example, and she is just giving you advice on how to succeed in the PTA program.
You're going to want to find a good study group. You're going to want to make sure that you study in advance for your tests. Hey guys, what are you studying for? These tests. When's that? Next week. Make friends with your classmates. Hey! What's up?
And then this last one is just an example of the light gate equipment.
Once you have your patient standing, you can unlock the brakes. And then now I'd like you to just walk forward. You can assist them and flex. Oh.
So that is all I have. This is my credit slide. Thanks to Pat, Alex, and Karsten for the clips, and thanks to Jane for giving me advice on this project. I hope I helped you guys get a better idea of what this project is, and maybe even some ideas on how to get started. So thanks for watching.